Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting and a very secretive project on Solana that is called NTFS, which is short for National Trust Fund System. Now this project has a very strong potential and we're going to talk about why that is. The token has already done a 10x in the last 30 days and the momentum really looks strong when you take a look at the chart. The current market cap is sitting at around $10 million with a decent liquidity of around $200,000 that is locked. So today, we're going to talk about what this project is about, what's the message or the philosophy behind this secret project, and how we can become a part of it. But before we get into it, just a small disclaimer that nothing in this video is financial or investment advice. So always do your own research and make sure that you read the project's own disclaimer as well. They clearly state that the NTFS, this token, is a meme coin with no affiliation to any government or official institution. So let's get into the lore in the community around this project. So NTFS, it's built around the idea that this is a classified government project that somehow became public. The story feels like something that was never supposed to see the light of the day, but pieces of it started leaking out. It's the kind of narrative that makes you wonder what exactly was discovered during that early research phase before it turned into something much bigger. The community talks about it like a file that was meant to stay buried but somehow ended up on the blockchain for everyone to see. Now, while most people are busy chasing whatever is already trending, this project is positioned for the small group that sees things coming from far away. And these are the people who, they don't wait for mainstream confirmation. They study quietly, they build conviction, they position themselves strategically long before the opportunity becomes obvious to everyone else. And NTFS, it represents that group. It's not about jumping on bandwagons. It's about recognizing the next major shift before the crowd even knows that it's happening. And the philosophy really runs deep here. There are two types of people when new innovations appear. Most people wait until it is safe and it's obvious. But there's always that smaller circle that moves early, studies the pattern, and they gets in before consensus forms. NTFS is built for that second group. It focuses on spotting emerging opportunities, thinking in long-term horizons, using technology as leverage, and participating in what comes next while others are still figuring it out. Now you can think of NTFS as the S&P 500 on Solana, just like the regular S&P 500 that tracks the biggest companies in the traditional financial system, and it shows you where the legacy capital is flowing. NTFS is being positioned as the benchmark for digital capital on Solana. Now, in the old system, when people want to understand the direction of the markets, they look at the S&P 500. Here, the idea is that as capital starts moving out of legacy assets and into the digital world, that flow will have a destination. And according to this project, NTFS is engineered to be that destination. It's not just another token that is chasing hype. It's presented as the point where the capital migration converges. Now, let's take a look at the website, which is the ntfs.world. I'm going to link it in the description. And the moment that you land on it, you feel the tone of the project. It's clean, but it carries this quiet and serious energy. And the main tagline is position before the future arrives. And it also says very boldly on the top, what if the biggest opportunity has already started? And right below this, there is a big countdown timer that is taking down to 23rd of August 2026. They call this date the strategic inflection point. Now, the way that is presented, it makes it feel like something important is supposed to happen around that time, like a window that is currently closed, but it will open up then. Now, the site doesn't explain everything in plain detail. It leaves a lot of room for interpretation, which only adds up to the mysterious feel. Now, one of the most striking parts is the capital migration section here. Now, they show this visual where the biggest companies in the world, they're connected by lines to the center where we have the NTFS logo. Now you see Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, Amazon, Meta, Tesla, Berkshires, Broadcom, JP Morgan, and all the other stocks that are linked inward. On the right side, they list the percentages next to each company, like Apple at 14%, Microsoft at about 13%, and Nvidia maybe about like 12%. And it continues down the list. It looks like a map of where the capital could be moving from. The image gives off this feeling that even a small slice of money from these massive traditional players is conceptually being redirected towards this new ecosystem. Obviously, it's not saying that these companies are directly investing. It's showing an idea of the capital flow, almost like these legacy giants are slowly leaking resources into the next era. And NTFS is sitting there as the receiver. The whole section feels like it's hinting at something bigger without spelling it out completely. Now, this whole thing, it plays into that hidden document kind of energy. Like there are files and strategies that are being discussed behind closed doors. And this visual is one of the pieces that made it out into the open. And it makes you wonder what other connections or documents might exist that we haven't seen yet. The website also lays out 4 main pillars that form the foundation of the NTFS project. The first one is the strategic vision, the ability to identify emerging opportunities before they become mainstream. The second is the long-term thinking, like building around conviction and patience instead of short-term noise. The third is digital innovation, like using technology and evolving markets as leverage. And the fourth is national participation. So connecting this shift on a larger scale. And together, they paint a picture of a project that isn't rushing. It's methodically positioning itself for something that's, it's still unfolding. And they also show a roadmap that is broken down in different phases. It starts with laying down the foundation through brand building and community growth. And then it moves into a growth phase that is focused on partnerships and reaching, further. And after that phase, that comes the acceleration, where the ecosystem expands and more utility gets added. And the final stage is when the vision is fully realized and the project reaches a more mature level of recognition. Obviously, right now, it feels like they're still in those early foundation and growth stages, which is why a lot of people are watching the countdown very closely. The token itself, it lives on Solana with the contract address for the token that is available on the website, on the main page of the website. And you can find the token listed on Coinbase website. They provide the data for it. And it can be traded on decentralized platforms like Meteora. You can get it from the DEX screener. The liquidity obviously looks solid for where the project currently stands, and the community, it's really active around the story and the visuals. Now, if you want to follow the updates and you want to see how this narrative develops, their official X account is NTFS official. I'm gonna provide the link in the description, and their website is ntfs.world. Again, I'll provide the link in the description so you can get them from there. The website is where the countdown is running and where new pieces of story they tend to appear, but you'll probably get more latest updates from their Twitter. So I would suggest that you check that out. Now, if this mysterious and strategic style of project, it speaks to you, I would highly suggest that you check the website, you check their Twitter account. All the links will be in the description. You take your time, read through everything, and do your own research. And if you want to put down any money, make sure that you put in what you can afford to lose. Now, I honestly really admire this sort of project because it's created and it thinks outside of the box. It's not an ordinary project like all the other altcoins that we are getting. It is absolutely novel, and the market appreciates and it rewards novelty. And that is something that you get in this project. Now, from the token side of things, you can obviously see the token performing. You can see the chart on the DEX screener. You can see the liquidity, the volume. And as I said in the start, the token has done about 10x in the last 30 days. And I mean, the chart speaks for itself. You know, it's going straight up despite the current market. And the market cap, even though it's about like $10 million, but relatively it's still considered a micro cap token. And micro cap means that it's still really small. We're still entering in the ground level of this project. I absolutely appreciate and adore this type of thinking. And especially this project, even though it's a meme coin, it's like it's educating people, and it's bringing awareness in these people that there are trends forming that we don't see coming. As of this moment, we're talking about, you know, the whole crypto world is talking about real world tokenization, because everywhere you see a lot of the legacy system, the traditional finance, major giants in the traditional finance, they are tokenizing real world assets on the blockchain. Now, BlackRock, they saw this coming because BlackRock and their think tanks, they belong to that small group that studied this long ago. And they've been talking about it for years. So if they have been talking about it for years, they probably have been thinking and researching about this for way longer. And just like this, there are more trends that are forming. People don't hear about the agentic economy yet, but they will, because I think this is one of the next major trends. A lot of people have started talking about this. And just like this, you have a lot of different, you have a lot of new categories that aren't recognized. There are new trends forming that that you are not aware of. But just like the real world tokenization, they will be huge in the future. And when they are huge, you won't be able to capitalize, because at that point, it's already mainstream and major players are positioned strategically, for a really long time now. So this project is like, it's educating people and it's bringing awareness about these trends that are forming that we aren't seeing coming. And since we cannot see them coming, we cannot actually capitalize using them. So that's why I really appreciate and adore this project for this type of this type of thinking. And it's, if you take a look at the market cap, you can actually see that the market is actually rewarding for that thinking. And this is happening during a very bad market. Now, when it improves, I think this token really has chances to go to large distances. I'm not sure how much market cap it can possibly achieve, but it has already done like a 10x. There will probably be more X coming in the near future, especially as it builds, as it goes forward with the roadmap. So I highly suggest that you keep this project under your radar. Bookmark it and come in and check it out every now and then. You can obviously follow them on Twitter, check out their website. You can become part of the community and you can add into this narrative as well. So yeah, that's my take on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and I'll see you guys in the next video shortly. So stay tuned.